don't second guess. Unapologetic, we're bold and we're loud, shining light on the left shady crowd. Oreo Express, rolling down the track, exposing the lies, ain't no turning back. Conservative fire, we're speaking the truth. At Oreo Express, this one's for you. So grab your boots, let's take a stand for freedom, faith, and the heart of this land. Oreo Express, let's roll, let's go. So grab your boots, let's take a stand for freedom, faith, and the heart of this land. Oreo Express, let's roll.
I hear every day about the products you all wish MyPillow carried. Well, guess what? We probably do. Slippers, bathrobes, pet beds, blankets, mattresses, sleepwear, loungewear, duvets, comforters, pot holders, aprons, oven mitts, and so much more. And they're all on sale. For example, get our best-selling standard MyPillows for only $14.98. Body pillows, $29.98. 6-piece bath towels or kitchen towel sets, just $29.98. Multi-use MyPillow 2.0s with pillowcase, $9.98. Save $40 on our Spring Percale and Giza Dream bedsheet sets. Any size, any color, and so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save up to 80% on all MyPillow products. And I've never done this before. When you spend $100 or more, you're going to get 2 standard MyPillows absolutely free.
That's right. Absolutely free, folks. Head over to mypillow.com. Check it out. There is so much over there. Use promo code Oreo for substantial savings, and it helps our platform as well. So if you got to spruce up, summer's here, you want some freshness, linens, towels, whatever you want, they have it at mypillow.com, and you're supporting an America First company. Thank you guys all for tuning in. I hope you're having a wonderful Tuesday, May 20th. All day long, guys. It's going to be Tuesday. I know some of y'all waiting for that Friday to roll around already. I get it. We're going to be busy. Probably, I don't know. I thought we had something going on this weekend, but as I look deeper and further into it, I'm like, wait a second, maybe this track championship is for a different region. So I'm looking into that right now, trying to get some stuff. We told you that male that was competing in women's sports, or male in female sports for the track championships. And we have a track championship here on Friday and Saturday. I was like, we're going to go out there. We can get some folks out there, show some signs, support girls. And but it's not looking like the Southern Division. It looks like the Northern Division's going here. But once again, thank you for tuning in. Let me jump over into the comments. Cade, Texas in the house. He says, howdy, y'all. Driving and listen. Here's to another great show. Thank you, Cade, Texas, for joining us. Appreciate you. JH Candy Bars in the house. Pixie's in the house. You know what that means, guys. Cuss jars on the table. Susan K. Spencer. Nola. Happy Taco Tuesday, she says. Yeah, that sounds good. Actually, we have In-N-Out every Tuesday. That is me and Roberto's date night before we go to church. Mini Ball says, I absolutely love my lumpy pillow. Says, see, who else is in here? Let's go down to the bottom. Trina's jumping in the house. Hello, Kimber. Thank you guys for joining in today. We're going to cover Trump went up to Capitol Hill today. If you guys were watching the first stream a little bit, we were covering they actually broke into Trump saying some stuff. We'll get into that. There was a couple different interviews Trump did on Capitol Hill. One, I don't know who ticked him off, but I know Trump pretty well. I pay attention. You could tell when he's flustered, frustrated. One of the interviews we're going to show you, he wasn't even playing around. He was, no. we'll talk about that. He's trying to get the Republicans in line for the triple B, is what we're calling it, the big, beautiful bill. And so we'll see how that goes. We have some holdouts there. We have some hearings on Capitol Hill. We have some great takedowns from RFK Jr. In his hearing. Marco Rubio was on fire. You know, I haven't been a big fan of Rubio. When Trump picked him, I was like, man, here we go again. And I am going to say this. I give credit where credit is due. And so far, I am pleasantly surprised. I'm more pleased with Marco Rubio than I am our Attorney General, Pam Bondi. And I thought it would be the other way around. But Marco Rubio is just like, I don't know what switch Trump turned on, but he's a true American nationalist. Maybe he's not. I'm just saying that's how he comes off in the hearings and everything else. And there's some epic takedowns he did. And then also, right after our show last night, Rep. McIver was charged. The one who stormed the ICE facility and was assaulting federal officers. She was charged by U.S. Attorney Alina Habba. We'll talk about that. We'll get the reactions of that. So there's a lot to cover in this show. I hope you're all got your seatbelts on. I know K-Tex has got his seatbelt on. He ain't no lawbreaker. He's probably doing 10 over the speed limit right now, huh? Yeah. Oh, man. So we're going to start off with just some Clown World stuff, though. And there's a lot of clown. We should do a third show. Yeah, right. Like I have that much time in a day, but I could do a third show of just all the Clown World stuff. All the craziness going on in this country and all the craziness that Democrats are pushing. It's ridiculous. Take a look at this right here. This is a father speaking at a school board meeting, which kudos to those fathers that go out. You are appreciated by not just your children, but the rest of this community that wants people to speak up against this evilness and this mental illness that's taken over. So let's take a look at this one first.
Followed by Doug McGregor. Good evening and welcome.
Good evening. I'm Mike LaBelle. I'm a longtime District 203 parent. We're grateful for the service of many outstanding teachers and coaches, but also profoundly concerned with the priorities of the district leadership, as well as a subset of adults set on imposing transgender ideology upon our kids. I'm here tonight to address the recent events that were widely publicized regarding what was understood to be a biological male competing in a 7th grade girls track meet at Jefferson Middle School. I hold no animus toward the student and his family or toward students in similar situations, sincerely grappling with issues of gender during adolescence. However, I'm here to speak on behalf of families and to directly address any adults in positions of influence that are allowing this agenda to escalate and bear responsibility for its consequences. There are numerous reasons to oppose, the community should oppose the district's current path regarding transgender students participating in girls' sports, notably the following. First, it runs counter to federal guidance on Title IX, jeopardizing a portion of District 203's funding, which could therefore impact the broader student population. Second, it creates an unfair playing field for our daughters and can lead to related concerns around the safety of such spaces, including locker rooms and bathrooms. Third, with tacit approval from educational leadership, it perpetuates confusion amongst other students and can also contribute to elements of social contagion that have already been well documented. We're told this is a personal decision that only affecting one student, but it's now being coerced in a school environment upon our kids and our families. There is a very real scenario where this circumstance becomes even more widespread in District 203 across all levels, undermining girls' sports. These situations place feelings over reason and force other students and families to participate in something we all know is a lie. Parents know this and kids understand this as well. And finally, recent polling from Gallup, Pew, NBC, CNN, New York Times all have consistently shown that between 2/3 and 80% of Americans support students participating in activities that match their biological gender. This is a mainstream view around the country, and Naperville 203 is an exception, or can be an exception, to where the families stand on this issue. I urge the district to change its course and also encourage families and fathers to stand up in good conscience and send a positive message in defense of our kids and girls' sports. Please do the right thing. Thank you for your consideration.
Look at those people behind him. Just the folks that hold those detestable flags. It's just absolutely disgusting what we're seeing. We're seeing this more and more, and we're glad it's getting out, because the Trump administration is going to be doing things. I hope they lose more than just that funding. I don't, we told you, it doesn't matter what 80% of America thinks. That guy brought up a poll that we've brought up numerous times, because you have to bend a knee to the Colts. The leftist Colts that want to sit there and take away the rights of young girls, young female athletes that work their tail off to compete. I'm just going to tell you, and this is kind of like my same psychology on welfare and everything else. This is how I believe. I think you guys know this. But were you ever told by your families, you might not have taken care of something as good as you should have? And they would tell you, well, when you got to go and spend your own money, and it's not me spending that money, you'll realize you'll take care of your stuff, or something similar to that. I was told that a couple times. Now, it's the same. I think the same principle here is if you told me, hey, Josh, there's a podcast competition or a show competition, and you can't win because someone else has an unfair advantage. Someone else has an unfair advantage, but we want you to work so hard every day. Continue practicing, continue putting time and effort into what you're doing. And then when you get to this competition, you don't have a chance of winning. Do you think I would, I'm just saying psychologically, do you think I would put the effort in to want to do that? I mean, it wouldn't even, and I'm not saying, I'm talking subconsciously. You have a pretty good thing. People usually, some people do, but most people don't start a job they know they can't finish. It's pointless. And these young girls that love doing the sport they want, and they see what's going on here. They see what just went on at the California Track Champion, and subconsciously, their mind's telling them, why do it? Why do it? You're going to have to compete with a male. You don't stand a shot against someone with testosterone or anything else. And it's just absolutely disgusting. Kudos to that father, though. Like I said, we don't have enough fathers. We don't have enough fathers. Here was that race right here. Look at how much they got beat by. Look at that. It wasn't even close. Look at that. That was the male pretending to be a girl in that school district. And like, it's obvious. Like, have you seen this person? They're not even trying, it seems like. Take a look, the one in the middle. And then where's all my race baiters at? Where's all my Democrats? That white male is beating black females, and you're not saying anything about it. It's racist. Stand up. Here's another one from that school board meeting. Listen to this mother.
And guidance. That act covers bullying, harassment. Recently, parents in District 203 sought Awake Illinois' help after the Naper Prairie track meet, where a male competed on the girls' team, winning multiple events. Parents demanded answers, but the district vaguely cited the Illinois Human Rights Act and guidance. That act covers bullying, harassment, not letting boys invade girls' bathrooms, locker rooms, or sports teams. This district secret policy, enacted without board approval, spits in the face of the Open Meetings Act. Most parents in District 203 and 204 had no clue their daughters would be competing alongside biological males. The Illinois Human Rights Act doesn't specify this allowance, and the state board's guidance is not law. It's a suggestion, and a bad one. Today, Wake, Illinois filed a federal civil rights complaint against District 203 with the Department of Education's Office for Civil Rights for violations contravening Title IX protections. With the Department of Justice and Department of Education task force, we're confident this will lead to policies that uphold Title IX for all students. 4 years ago, I first publicly spoke to this board, and I said DEI ideology is chaos. It's harming kids. It is abusive. Now in 2025, you've got boys stealing girls' victories, leaving young girls sobbing on the track. This isn't inclusion, it's oppression.
Look at that guy's sign right there. It says, in a world where you can be anything, be kind. And it should have an asterisk, except to biological females. We don't want to be kind to them. We don't want to be fair to them. I'm glad that people are standing up. I'm glad this is getting national recognition. Filing a Title IX complaint, I think, is the way to go. We were down at Chino 3 weeks ago now for that school board meeting where they passed a resolution to, I guess it's called a resolution, I don't know, but to get the Trump administration to get involved because of everything that's going on. You know, Democrats always use this. Well, that's not fair. We got to be fair. Unless it comes to biological female sports. For some reason, these people, hook, line, and sinker, have just been, I wouldn't even call it brainwashed. It reminds me of when Obama was elected and so many people regretted their vote. The white guilt party voted Obama in. And they thought, this will prove I'm not racist. Well, what a mistake that was. I want you to listen to this. We've covered a lot of protest on Columbia University. I just want you to know this is their graduation ceremony and how embarrassing it is. And again, I hope there's a lot of employers there that really vet the students that are coming out of Columbia, because this is just crazy. Listen to the president, acting president Claire Shipman, when she was interrupted at the graduation.
Claire Shipman.
Thank you. Good morning, class of 2025. I know that many of you
are little terrorist supporters.
Good morning, class of 2025. I know that many of you feel some amount of frustration with me, and I know you feel it with the administration. And I know we have a strong, strong tradition of free speech at this university.
See, I just hate how free speech is translated when it goes to the left. Now, if I was a student that busted my ass, Pixie, you didn't hear that, busted my butt to graduate, and I want to enjoy my graduation, and those people are disrupting my graduation, I don't consider that free speech. There should be, and I'm pretty sure there is in the code of conduct and the rules that engage. It's just like at anything that you can see. it's just ridiculous. I'll be honest. You know what? You're trying, and this is what these little spoiled brats do. They want to ruin your time. They want to ruin your day because their life is miserable.
And I am always open to feedback, which I am getting right now. The work of your generation will be to shape these interesting times, to define the values.
Support Mahmoud. They're gonna leave now and
The work of your generation.
get in the real world, and all those jobs they thought they were gonna acquire. Most of those jobs have been cut because we cut the funding to USAID, so they can't be. They're gonna have to get more of a Soros-backed job. So, you know what? Just crazy. Hey, I seen this today. I thought this was something interesting, something good, something breaking. The annual COVID-19 shots. I know we all, a lot of times, most of you guys aren't in the chat because you're getting your updated booster. But the annual COVID-19 shots for healthy younger adults and children will no longer be routinely approved under a major new policy shift unveiled Tuesday by the Trump administration. I want to pull this up. FDA set new requirements for this. So take a look at this. It says federal health officials will no longer routinely approve annual COVID-19 shots for younger adults and children who are healthy. It says top officials for the Food and Drug Administration laid out new requirements for access to yearly COVID shots, saying they'd continue to use a streamlined approach that would continue offering them to adults 65 and older, as well as children and younger adults with at least one health problem that puts them at higher risk. But the FDA framework urges companies to conduct large, lengthy studies before tweaked vaccines can be approved for healthier people. In a framework published Tuesday in the New England Journal of Medicine, agency officials said the approach still could keep an annual vaccination available for between 100 and 200 million people. It says the upcoming changes raise questions for the people who still might want a fall COVID-19 shot, but don't necessarily fit in one of those categories. Is the pharmacist going to determine if you're a high-risk group? Asked Dr. Paul Uffett, a vaccine expert at Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. The only thing that can come of this is it'll make vaccines less insurable and less available. This is one of those things that honestly should have been done a long time ago. I know Gavin Newsom tried to inject every little child a couple years back. And this is a step forward. One of the reasons for this step is because of what they are putting out now with the FDA and Dr. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is that they want trials on this. For so long, these things haven't been tested against a placebo or anything else, and now everything will be tested in that nature, and that's just good news. Now, we talked about at the beginning of the show, Donald Trump up on Capitol Hill today. Donald Trump up on Capitol Hill today. He trying to get some votes for the BBB, which is the big, beautiful bill. And Hakeem Jeffries was a little mad. Hakeem Jeffries was throwing a little tantrum. Listen to Hakeem Jeffries.
His view that they don't work for the American people, they work for him and Elon. The Hill is to try to remind Republican Murphy's view that they don't work for the American people, they work for him and Elon Musk, and they better follow Montreux.
Oh, they work for him and Elon Musk. us. No, they work for the mandate that the American people gave to Donald Trump when they elected him and got all 7 swing states. So yes, we voted for what Trump said he would do. I want you to listen to some of this. There's a couple interviews I show you. This one, the first one's very mellow. The second one, I want you guys to look at Trump. Like he's ready to get in a boxing ring.
And if it doesn't pass, everybody.
Mr. President, what was your message? What was your message to lawmakers?
We just had a great, it was really a meeting of unity. We had tremendous unity. There's a lot of love in the room, and I think we're going to have a big victory.
What do you hope that Republicans don't support?
I think anybody that didn't support it as a Republican, I would consider to be a fool. It's a great bill. It's a great bill for America, more importantly. Thank you very much, everybody.
How involved are you going to be in terms of whipping up the vote? Are you going to be calling them?
I think we're in good shape. I don't know. I can't tell you that, but this was a meeting of love. There's great unity in that room, and it's the biggest tax cut in American history. And if it doesn't pass, everybody's going to get a 68% tax increase. I don't know how you beat that. Also, one other thing, you're going to get an 85% reduction in drugs. 85% reduction, not 0.25%, not an increase. The Democrats, you're going to pay 25% more for drugs. With me, because of what I've instituted, favored nations, the people of America, it's about time, going to get an 85% reduction. They're going to be paying the lowest price in the world.
How important is this for your agenda? You've been able to do a lot through executive action. How important is it to have this piece of legislation for your agenda and your legacy?
It's very important. It's important for the country. It's not important for me. It's important for the country. This is the greatest bill that will ever, I think it's the most important bill this country just about has ever done in terms of size and scope. That's why we call it the great, big, beautiful deal. I mean, it really is. The bill is, I think it's going to be one of the most important. It's the biggest tax reduction in history, biggest regulation reduction in history. Incredible for Medicaid, for Medicare. The only thing, we're going to leave it exactly as it was, other than for obviously waste, fraud, and abuse. We're strengthening it. We're going to make these things even stronger. The Democrats are going to destroy Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security. And we're going to keep them, but even make them stronger.
How are the talks going?
Say it. Well, we're looking at a lot of things, but we'll see. I had a very good talk yesterday with President Putin. We'll see how that comes out. They're talking right now. We'll see how.
Are you planning to meet? Are you going to meet?
Say it.
What about Pope Leo? Why the Vatican, sir, for the negotiation? Why you suggested that?
No, Pope Leo suggested it, and if he'd like to have the talks at the Vatican, I can't think of a better place. I like it. This is a pretty good place too, come to think
Do you
of
like
it.
these American Pope?
But I think I like him. Yeah, I like the Pope, and I like the Pope's brother. You know, one of the Pope's brothers, actually both of them, but one in particular is a major MAGA fan. Did you know that? He lives in Florida. He's got MAGA, he's got Trump, and I look forward to getting him to the White House. I want to shake his hand. I want to give him a big hug. Thank you very much, everyone.
So that was a pretty calm briefing. But there was another one, and I don't know where it happened. I don't know if it was before or after this, to be honest with you. But it's still on Capitol Hill. I want you to take a look at Trump. And he's not playing around right now. Just listen to what he tells a reporter. It is freaking epic. Take a listen to this one, though. And listen to what he says and how he says it.
Your source and tell them they're liars if the source even exists. Let me
pull this up. Here we go. Take a listen to this.
Mr. President, Andy Harris said he didn't convince enough people to vote for the bill in there. He said he didn't adequately convince enough people to vote for the bill.
Listen.
What was the expression you used now?
Andy
Were you
Harris-
embarrassed? Is that
No,
what
it
you
said
said?
Andy Harris said that you didn't adequately. Mr. President, Andy Harris said people to vote for the bill in there. He said he didn't adequately convince enough people to vote for the bill.
What was the expression you used now?
Andy
Were you
Harris-
embarrassed? Is that
No,
what
it
you
said
said?
Andy Harris said that you didn't adequately convince enough people to vote for the bill. The House Freedom Caucus.
You mean
chairman.
after this speech?
After this speech, that's what she
I think
said.
so. Well, what do we see at the voters? I think it was a great talk. It wasn't a speech we talked about then. Who do you work for?
Notice.
Who?
Notice.
I don't even know what the hell that is. You gotta get yourself a real job. Let me tell you.
He says, I don't even know what the hell that is. Get yourself a real job. And look at the speaker's face. Look at the speaker's face right there. But look at his demeanor. Like he's ready to box.
Yeah, let me tell you, I think we have unbelievable unity. I think we're going to get everything we want. And I think we're going to have a great victory. And this man has done a great job. And I think this was a tremendous session. You may want to say something.
Yeah, it was a great meeting. The party is unified. The House Republican Conference is excited. Multiple standing ovations. They love this president. The people back home love what he's doing. It's historic, and everybody understands the scope and the meaning of this. If we do not accomplish this mission, every one of you, all the American people are going to have the highest tax increase that you've ever had. And among the debt ceiling cliff that's approaching and all the other problems, this is the bill to do it. I think we're going to get it done, Mr. President.
The Democrats want to raise your taxes. If this doesn't work, if this doesn't get the numbers that the Republicans want, and I think it does, I think it's all Republican vote, the Democrats are going to be raising your taxes by 68%. And they will not do we're going to have an 85% cut in drug costs. 85% cut in drug costs. The Democrats, the drug prices are going to go up. I can't imagine a Democrat not voting for this. I think the Democrats, if they don't vote for it, that means they're voting for an increase in drug prices. Think of that, versus an 80 to an 85, maybe 75, but could be an 85% cut in drug costs. Okay.
Mr. President, will you need to reach out to individual members? Will you need to make a pitch to individual members?
I don't think so. No, that's what I did today. That's really what we did today. I think it was a really great. That was a meeting of love. Let me tell you, that was love in that room. There was no shouting. I think it was a meeting of love. There were a couple of things that we talked about specifically where some people felt a little bit one way or the other, not a big deal. And I covered them. It wasn't so much a speech. I covered certain points. And I think I'd be very surprised.
You told them you were losing patience.
No, I didn't tell. Who told you I said I'm losing?
That's what we heard inside the room.
But it's a lie. Wait a minute. Wait. Who's told you that?
We heard from people inside the room.
Oh, really? It's totally true. I never used the term. I didn't say losing. I didn't even talk about it. In fact, it's the opposite. I think we're going to get it done. I'm not losing patience. We're ahead of schedule. Anybody that told you that is a liar. Wait a minute. I never mentioned the word losing patience because I'm not losing patience. We're ahead of schedule.
That's why I asked you. I want to get
Well, why don't you go back to your source and tell them they're liars if the source even exists?
Why don't you go back to your source, tell them they're liars if the source even exists? Because fake news, that's all he deals with all day. And boy, does he know how to handle fake news. He puts on a show every time. And of course, you know, the Democrats are still screaming Medicaid and everything else. Trump has confirmed time and time again, there's not going to be no cuts to Medicaid. They're going to cut waste, abuse, and fraud. They might add a work requirement like we've talked about yesterday. If you're an able-bodied person and you're sitting at home on your Xbox playing video games at 29 years old, you need to get to work. And I'm a little disturbed that they only have to work 20 hours a week for that. But here he is again. This is another take on
fraud and abuse with Medicaid, waste, fraud.
Do you consider some of the proposals on the table in copay as a benefit cut? How are you viewing those?
No, we are looking at one thing. We're not doing any cutting of anything meaningful. The only thing we're cutting is waste, fraud, and abuse. With Medicaid, waste, fraud, and abuse. There's tremendous waste, fraud, and abuse. There's incompetent things with it. We have illegal aliens that are multiple killers with multiple murder records getting Medicaid. I don't think anybody minds if we cut that. The Democrats, on the other hand, are going to destroy it because they're going to leave these people on. We're cutting three things: waste, fraud, and abuse. We're not changing Medicaid, and we're not changing Medicare, and we're not changing Social Security. And if I wanted to do those things, I would have done it during my 4 years that we were.
So there he goes again, just going over the lies of the left, going over the lies of the left. But one more time, we got to see
Andy
this.
Harris said that you didn't adequately convince enough people to vote for the bill. How freedom talking?
You mean after this speech?
After this speech, that's what
Oh,
you
really? I
said.
think so. Well, what do we see at the voters? I think it was a great talk. It wasn't a speech we talked about. And who do you work for?
Notice.
Who?
Notice.
I don't even know what the hell that is. Get yourself a real job.
Get yourself a real job. I just love it, and I love Speaker Mike Johnson's face. Because again, there's a since Trump's been in office, back in the day, Republicans were cowards. If the media said something, they tried to kissy foot to him and try to bow down to him like somehow they held the cards. And Trump said, we're going to do this without the media. We're going to do this with independent media. We're going to do this with social media. And he has destroyed the fake news. Now, listen to this. This is something else that was in there that he had spoke on today. Listen to this.
Biden, look, it's a very sad thing what happened, but we're going to start looking into this whole thing. Who signed legislation opening our border? I don't think he knew. I said there's nobody that could want an open border. Nobody. And now I find out that it wasn't him. He auto-penned it. Who was operating the auto-pen? This is a very serious thing. We had a president that didn't sign anything. He auto-penned almost everything. He opened the borders of the United States of America. And I kept saying, who would do such a thing? Allowing criminals to pour in from all over the world, not just South America, all over the world. They came in from Africa, they came in from Asia, they came from the Congo. The prisons in the Congo in Africa, these are rough people. The prisons from the Congo are empty. You know where they are? They're in this country. Who would sign this? Nobody would sign it. No sane person would sign it. You know who signed it? Radical left lunatics that were running our country, and the auto-pen signed it. And they didn't want him, and they were disappointed in getting him because they wanted Bernie Sanders. And then after about 2 weeks, they said, wait a minute, this is a gift. He'll do anything. We're going to use the auto-pen. And they
radical left lunatics. I think we're going to hear a lot more about auto-pen. I really do. I think there's investigations going on. I don't know if it'll lead to anything. I'm hoping it does. It'd be nice if somehow there was a lawsuit from either the Department of Justice or maybe I guess it would be from the Department of Justice that would say that, first off, the pardons, they're not valid pardons. And you think about that. I don't know how long that would take, but if it's 6 months down the road, I don't know if Joe Biden will be here in 6 months. He's had cancer for so long. It's very bad cancer. We don't know what that prognosis or that outlook is. But I would like to see, and what's amazing is that nobody has came out, and maybe this is the FBI is going to work on this, like say, hey, we'll give you complete immunity. We just need you to be honest. We need you to tell us the truth. And here is Hakeem Jeffrey's response to this. Donald Trump lied to the American people about the state and local tax deduction. That's what they refer to as the SALT tax. And now it says now he's punking House Republicans in New York, New Jersey, and California who will fold like cheap suits, vote them all out. Now, why does he bring up New York, New Jersey, and California? Because they're the highest taxed. That's why. And so I'll pull this up. I pulled this up yesterday just to give you an idea. And it gives you a little definition, give you a little understanding on the SALT tax. Let's see here. The SALT tax is a tax imposed. No. Let's see. It brought me up the wrong one. Okay. So, U.S. federal tax provision allows taxpayers who itemize their deductions to deduct certain state and local taxes paid from their federal taxable income. Definition: the SALT deduction permits taxpayers to deduct state and local taxes such as property taxes, state income taxes on their federal return. So, when you're filing federally, if you're in a state with high property taxes and you're paying $15,000 in property tax, you get to deduct that. So these people in San Francisco, Los Angeles, with these $3.8 million homes, especially in California, New York, and New Jersey, where we have extremely high taxes, they get to deduct that. It's a benefit for the state, if you will, because people don't complain about paying those taxes because it's a tax deduction federally. And now they're looking at capping it at 20,000. So I would use the SALT tax when because I do, living in California, I do deduct my property taxes. My property taxes aren't nowhere near 20,000. You also get to do the state income taxes. And what this does is Democrats want this to be a big balloon. They want you to be unlimited. So if you have a for the rich, if you have a $4.2 million home and your property taxes and your state income taxes are $38,000 or even more, 50,000, they want you to be able to deduct that on your federal income tax. And that's why you have Cory Booker and people in California. Cory Booker's from New Jersey. They're upset about that. Okay, I'm sorry. It's a $10,000 cap right now. It says the $10,000 cap is set to expire on December 31st, 2025, unless Congress extends it or modifies it. If this is unchanged, the deduction will revert to having no cap starting in 2026. It says the cap affects taxpayers in high tax states. Example, New York, California, and New Jersey, where state and local taxes often exceed $10,000. For an example, a homeowner with $15,000 in property taxes and $20,000 in state income taxes can only deduct $10,000. And what does that do? That increases their federal liability. What was this? I was seeing if I had any information. So, again, Democrats, they're not going to the low and middle class people. My taxes, I think an average person in my neighborhood, let's say they make about $80,000 a year. That $10,000 is about right for them. They own a home. They have the property taxes, they have their state taxes, and they get to deduct that $10,000. But what Hakeem Jeffries and the rest are worried about is their elitists. Just thought that was interesting. Let's see what else we have. Gavin Newsom in his lie as well, right after Trump did his speech. The GOP bill is proposing will stir up Okay, the GOP bill being proposed will strip up to 4.4 million Californians off their health care coverage and put an estimated $30 billion in funding at risk, gutting the foundation of our healthcare system and forcing hospitals and clinics across the state to shut down. I just want to tell you this. You think he cares about the American citizens? No, he doesn't. He spent $9.6 billion last year on illegal alien healthcare with Medi-Cal, which is California's version of Medicaid. And then it's looking as this fiscal year, we're going to spend somewhere in the neighborhood of, I think it was 12.6 or $12.8 billion. Now, what he's not telling you, once again, is nobody's being stripped away. We all have medical coverage. And again, because the government's got so involved, I realize it's pricey, but we all have the option to buy medical coverage. What he's upset about is the waste, abuse, and fraud. There's a lot of people that are able-bodied folks capable of working, but why work when you can live I wouldn't say a decent life, but you can live a life where you don't have to have any real responsibilities. You're on Section 8 housing, you get food stamps, you get cash aid, and you get free medical. I think with all those, you also get free bus passes. You get all these, like, free Obama phone. I mean, there's really nothing you have to pay for. And Gavin Newsom wants to keep it that way. But I just thought it was interesting that Gavin Newsom would say something, especially with all this stuff that's gone on recently that we've exposed, we've showed you, and it's just crazy. Now, today there was hearings on Capitol Hill. I want to show you Marco Rubio, and I want to show you RFK Jr. just absolutely destroying some of these folks. Take a listen to Marco Rubio's statement. And again, he's impressing me.
System now under our current laws. Unfortunately, our immigration policy should be based on the national interest of the United States, period. End of story. If there is a subset of people that are easier to vet, who we have a better understanding of who they are and what they're going to do when they come here, they're going to receive preference, no doubt about it. There are a lot of sad stories around the world, millions and millions of people around the world. It's heartbreaking. We cannot assume millions and millions of people around the world. No country can. So you have to have a process of deciding who do you prioritize, who do you allow in. We do it all the time. We do it in our immigration system now under our current laws. Unfortunately, it's primarily based on family connection and not on what they're going to contribute to the society from a merit standpoint. That should be changed, but that'll require statutory changes. But the bottom line is this notion that somehow we have to accept anyone who wants to come to the United States is absurd. No country in the world has an immigration policy like that.
Obviously, he's speaking back to a Democrat because you know what Democrats do. They stand up for foreigners and illegals more than they do the American citizen. We've seen what Joe Biden has done. Now, Senator Tim Kaine. I wasn't sure if this was going to come up today, but Senator Tim Kaine is worried that we allowed 59 white, quote, white South Africans into the country. We just had over 15 million illegals brought into this country from over 100 different countries under the Biden that were allowed to illegally enter, cross rivers, climb fences, be just everywhere in the United States. Our government went and flown them to your neighborhoods as well. But Senator Tim Kaine is upset because these are white folks. Take a listen. You can't make this stuff up.
But I'm going to ask you, so a well-justified fear of persecution?
Yeah, they thought that their farms were being burned down and they would be killed. I think that's a pretty good justification for wanting to come. They're afraid for their lives.
And should it be applied in an even-handed way? That's an easy.
No, our foreign policy doesn't require even-handedness. It requires prioritizing the interests of the United States.
The phrase says you are entitled to entrance as a if you demonstrate a well-justified fear of persecution.
No, you're not entitled.
So
you're
can
allowed.
you have a difference?
He just corrected him. You're not entitled. You're allowed.
Standard based upon the color of somebody's skin, would that be acceptable?
Well, I'm not the one arguing that. Apparently you are, because you don't like the fact that they're white, and that's why they're coming.
You don't like the fact that they're white, and he calls them out right there. I mean, Democrats are getting destroyed in these hearings.
Would be unacceptable.
Well, no, I would say that the United States,
a very easy thing
the United States has a right to pick and choose who they allow into the United States.
Even based on the color of somebody's skin.
You're the one that's talking about the color of their skin, not me. These
are
people whose farms were being burned down and they were killed because of the color of their skin.
Well,
Well, you've demonstrated enough because you think anyone should be allowed into this country for any reason because they met a certain criteria.
Who has said that?
We are going to prioritize people that come into our country on the basis of what's in the interest of this country. That's a small number of people that are coming.
But you said this weekend that
but
there
in other
would be more.
cases, it's harder to vet. In other cases, it's more difficult. And by the way, the United States admits people every year.
Marco Rubio just mopped the floor with him. And help me out. I was looking at this guy. What show is he from?
Our foreign policy.
That's an easy.
I want to put that right there. What show was he from the 70s? Who am I thinking of when I was thinking, not Sanford and Sons. But he looks like that guy on one of those shows, the old grandpa guy or something. It's just absolutely insane. But I just thought I would say that because I was watching today and I was like, dude. Julia says, I'm liking Rubio more and more. Yes. It's hopefully it stays this way. I mean,
people apply.
We've seen people put on a front for a while. Archie Bunker, there you go. Archie Bunker up there arguing because he don't want white people to come into the country. How about this one? And again, Marco Rubio, epic. Take a listen to this. And let's not forget, this is the senator who went and had margaritas with an MS-13 gang member.
The privilege. People apply for student visas to come in States and study. And if you tell me that you're coming to the United States to lead campus crusades, to take over libraries and try to burn down buildings and acts of violence, we're not going to give you a visa.
Is that what Ms. Ostork did?
We're not going to give you a visa.
Is that what she did? Come on, Mr. Secretary.
And every single one of these cases, the factors are different.
Senator,
the bottom line is, if you're coming here to stir up trouble on our campuses, we will deny you a visa. And if you have a
First
visa
Amendment
and we find
apply
you,
to
we will
people
revoke
living in
it.
the United States?
And we're going to do more. There are more coming. We're going to continue to revoke the visas of people who are here as guests and are disrupting our higher education facilities. People are paying money. These kids pay money to go to school, and they have to walk through a
Writing an
bunch of
op-ed
lunatics
to the
who
top
are here on student
newspapers
visas.
disrupting the
Simple
foreign
as
policy
that.
of the United States.
I want to do more. I hope we can
That's
find more of these people.
pathetic.
Listen to him. He's going off. I want to do more. I'm going to get more of these people out of here. He's like on fire. Oh, my God. Trump flipped the switch on him. Listen.
In fact, the other day, some guys led a riot. I forgot what university it was. And I asked, please, can you find the arrest records of all the people that were arrested at that riot at that campus? Because if any of them have a visa, we're going to revoke it.
I feel so much safer
All right,
when you lock up people like Ms. Ostork, Mr. Secretary.
We've had enough time on the subject.
But that wasn't it. Marco Rubio got him pretty good. I want you to take a listen to this one. This was epic, too. I think it's the next one.
Secretary Rubio should take that testimony to the federal court.
The whole list.
Listen to this. Man, again, Marco Rubio, I'm killing it today.
In the case of El Salvador, absolutely. Absolutely. We deported gang members, including the one you had a margarita with. And that guy is...
including the one you had a margarita with. I mean, this is... Democrats go and they want to try to get their one-liners out so that CNN can air it and so that MSNBC can play a 20-second clip of the conversation, and they are getting destroyed. I honestly and never seen anything quite this good. We didn't see it in Trump's first administration. This is absolutely epic.
A human trafficker, and that guy is a gangbanger, and the evidence is going to be clear in the days.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman.
Secretary Rubio has the floor.
Mr. Chairman, he can't make unsubstantiated comments like that.
Secretary Rubio has the floor. You had
Secretary
your time.
Rubio should take that testimony to the federal court of the United States because he hasn't done it under oath.
Here's another point.
Look at how angry Democrats get to protect illegal aliens. You don't ever see these Democrats fighting for Americans. They're going into ICE facilities. You know how many, and we've talked about this, you know how many prisons there are with United States citizens where there's abuse and neglect going on, where prisoners are being beaten by guards and everything else? You don't see Democrats at the doors trying to storm the gates of those facilities. They don't care. But, oh, there's illegals in there. We want to make sure they're being treated fairly. You can't make this up. You cannot make this up. This was absolutely epic. And listen to this. This again, man, Marco.
Based on what I know,
that's just a flip.
He gets the Oreo Army Award today. Take a listen.
You have shown through your words and your actions what the answer is. And I have to tell you personally that I regret voting for you for Secretary of State. I yield back.
May I respond?
You may sit.
Well, first of all, your regret for voting for me confirms I'm doing a good job, based on what I know.
Well, that's just
your
a
record
flippant
and what you
statement,
stand
Mr.
for.
Secretary.
Can I respond, Mr. Chairman?
You may.
man? Like, and again, I haven't been a fan of Marco Rubio, but I promise you, if you're non-biased, you're like, MAGA has gotten a hold of this guy. Like, this guy, maybe it's just the fact that he doesn't, I think it's the administration in general. I always said this in the first administration. Devin Nunes, he was our representative here in the Central Valley here in California. And I'm not saying he did a bad job, but he didn't fight like he fought until Trump got in office. And then he was going over the Crossfire Hurricane. He was running across the White House lawn to show President Trump stuff. And it was just amazing. It's amazing what your surroundings can do to you. JH Candy Bar, I want to say thank you. Appreciate you. Once again, guys, I forgot to say this again. We are trying to raise money. We need to raise money this week. We're on Tuesday to get a hotel for DC in 3 weeks. We're going to be down there. We're going to be covering the military parade down there. That's causing all the controversy with the left. We are going to be down there. We're going to be meeting Matt down there, actually. And we need to get hotel, food, and rental cars still. And so if you guys want to help out, we would appreciate your support. We are 100% viewer funded. It's by you that we get to travel. And we've been to DC, I don't know, 25 times probably by now. And we want to go again. We want to go down there for this military parade. And we'll also cover some protests and things that are going on down there like always. So I want to say thank you. Also, I don't know if BB's watching, but BB did a Venmo yesterday. Thank you, BB. If you guys do want to help out, it's Venmo at Oreo Josh, Cash App, $ Oreo Army. And then we have our GiveSendGo, which is givesendgo.com/Oreo 2024. And if you prefer to use Zelle, we have a Zelle link that you can help us out with. So again, we can reserve the room on Friday before they're all gone. And you can go to our website, theoreoexpress.com. There's a donate now button. It'll have that Zelle link if you do online banking, and it'll have our Cash App and Venmo on there. And again, want to say thank you. Thank you, JH Candy Bar. Let me see. Next one, RFK Jr. RFK Jr. Listen to this. Listen to that. I mean, it was just epic. Epic. Calling them out. These frauds that have been in Congress and in the Senate for forever. Acting like they care about the American people when they all allowed it to happen. Listen.
The sickest people in the world. Senator, I want to point out that in 2021, at the beginning of his administration, President Biden submitted his budget on May. You know what? You made an accusation of me. I'm going to answer it.
Okay, I appreciate
on May
that.
28th, he submitted his budget. So our budget. We're a new administration.
Okay, you can go
And I
down
also
that
want to
road.
point
I
out.
have just 2 minutes left. I asked you a specific
I want to
question.
point out something, Senator. You presided here, I think, for 32 years. You presided over the destruction of the health of the American people.
Well,
Our people are now the
Mr.
sickest people in the
Secretary,
world.
seriously.
Because you have
Mr.
not done your
Secretary,
job.
Seriously. That is an
What have you
amazing
done about
point.
it? What have you
Mr.
done about the
Secretary,
epidemic
I am here
of
to
chronic
ask-
disease?
Mr. Secretary,
What have
are
you done
here in
about the epidemic
Mr.
of chronic
Secretary,
disease?
Seriously, Madam
Mr. Secretary,
Chairman.
I would ask it to hold back and let the Senator.
You've been here for 32 years. We are now the sickest country in the world. What have you been doing? I just love it. We're going to play it one more time because that is just epic. That is just epic. And watch her face. She's like, I'm getting called out. I need that soundbite for CNN. Listen to this.
I appreciate
On May
that.
28th, he submitted his budget. So our budget. We're a new administration.
Okay, you can go
And I
down
also
that
want to
road.
point
I
out.
have just 2 minutes left. I asked you a specific
I want to
question.
point out something, Senator. You presided here, I think, for 32 years. You presided over the destruction of the health of the American people.
Well,
You've presided over the destruction of the health of the American people.
Our people are now the
Mr.
sickest people in the
Secretary,
world.
seriously.
Because you have
Mr.
not done your
Secretary,
job.
seriously. That is.
Seriously? Yeah, he's being serious. He's done. He's tired. This administration's tired. I mean, think about it. RFK Jr. really went out on a limb. His family attacked him. A lot of his close friends, his allies, attacked him and left him because he said he was going to join the Trump administration to do what? To clean up the chronic health problems that is facing America. And he's doing just that. And he's calling people out in the process.
What have you done about it? What have you
done about it? What have you done about it? She can't answer that. How about this one? Listen to this little exchange
Me and
here,
for
because they
Marty
want
McCary,
gotchas.
who's
That's
the
all they're
FDA.
there to do. They're not there to get information or worried about the health, worry about the FDA, worry about inspections. Listen to this one too.
Secretary Kennedy, whose decision is it to withhold thousands of grants and billions in funding for life-saving medical research at NIH?
I can tell you, Senator Baldwin, that gene therapy and cell therapy is a priority for me and for Marty McCary, who's the FDA director. We are going to ensure that this country remains the hub of gene therapy.
That wasn't
and
my
cell
question. Secretary Kennedy, whose decision is it to withhold thousands of grants and billions in funding for life-saving medical research at NIH that we approved on a bipartisan basis in this subcommittee?
We are not abandoning any life-saving research.
Is it DOGE?
He just told you we're not disbanding any life-saving research, but again, she's got to get that DOGE word in there.
Reviewing NIH funding opportunity announcements? Is it
got-
DOGE reviewing NIH grant award?
We've got administrators, we're cutting waste, we're cutting duplicative programs.
You're funding $3 billion less in biomedical research than you did a year prior.
We're spending less on administration of those programs.
Again, we're getting down to the root of it. Why do we need to spend that much money on the administration side of that? We need to worry about and focus on the research side of things.
3,200 fewer grants.
We're spending, well, many of the grants were terminated because they were grants that were not advancing.
These aren't grants terminated. These are grants not awarded because the panels weren't convened.
We spend 70% of the world's biomedical research out of NIH, 70%, and we're the sickest country in the world.
$18 billion or 40% from the NIH budget slow the development of new treatments.
And listen to what he says.
And we are the sickest country.
These are grants not awarded because the panels weren't convened.
We spend 70% of the world's biomedical research.
We spend 70% of the world's the world, 70%.
Out of NIH, 70%, and we're the sickest country in the world.
$18 billion or 40% from the NIH budget slow the development of new treatments and cures?
And we are the sickest country in the world. So that money has not been well spent. We've had a 38% increase in our agency, growth in our agency over the past 4 years.
I'll ask you, is funding for Alzheimer's disease research centers DEI? Because you're holding up $65 million for 14 of those centers in 9 states, including the University of Wisconsin-Madison. Is funding for cancer centers DEI? Because you're holding up $47 million in cancer center support grants at 9 cancer centers in 8 states. Is funding for rare disease research DEI? Because you're holding up $55 million for 11 rare disease clinical research network grants in 8 states. These are just a few examples, and the list goes on and on, Secretary Kennedy. I've run out of time. I yield back.
Thank you.
This is a fun game we're playing.
Mr. Secretary.
This is a fun game we're playing because that's all it is. And once you understand it's a game, you can play right along with them. And it's unfortunate that that's what our tax dollars go to, but this is where Democrats have placed these hearings. This is what it is. They get nothing accomplished. Again, it's, oh, we got RFK Jr. Let's get our talking points. Let's get our hit pieces out now. Listen to this right here.
They got a worst chronic health crisis and the unhealthiest, sickest population in the globe.
So your total budget for 2024, I think, was around 1.7 trillion. Is that correct?
Yes.
So we've had a 10% increase across that. We've received nothing in return.
We've had a 38% increase in 4 years.
And at the
with
same
nothing in return.
And nothing.
38% increase under the Biden administration with nothing's gotten better. People's health has not gotten better. They haven't found any cures that they keep saying that Donald Trump's trying to cancel the cure.
In return, and we have my Democrat colleagues that are complaining about cutting spending. At the same time, we have NIH recipients, because we've heard our colleagues on the left side really complain about you cutting NIH funding because they call it research. But is it really research? I mean, let me just throw some numbers out here for you. Harvard received $488 million in NIH, and 69% went to indirect cost, meaning didn't go to
indirect costs. So 31% went to research. Listen to that number.
Research. I mean, let me just throw some numbers out here for you. Harvard received $488 million in NIH, and 69% went to indirect cost, meaning didn't go to research. Yale received $646 million, and 67.5% of their NIH money went to indirect costs, meaning didn't go to research. You have Johns Hopkins University got $858 million. 67.5% went to indirect cost, meaning 67.5% of $858 million did not go to research. University of California, San Francisco received $815 million in NIH money, and 59% went to indirect cost. But I'm sure there's no room to cut NIH money for research. I mean, who would think we probably have room for that? Because let's just use the top 4 recipients for my colleagues, and on the Democrat side, let's just use their numbers and round numbers. That's $2,807 million in NIH money for top 4 universities receiving NIH. Out of that, $1,684 million went to indirect cost. I'm using rough numbers here. Now, I'm sure there's no room to cut NIH research, right?
There's room to cut the research both through the indirect cost, which the total cost was $9 billion last year in indirect research. So that's $9 billion that did not go to research, but also
$9 billion that went to other things like flowers at the university.
Right, and the way we don't know what it goes to. And the way it works is if we give $1 million grant and there's a 60% indirect cost, that means they get to keep the $1 million grant, but we have to give them another $600,000 for their indirect costs. So that's the way it works. And the private universities that have the big endowments, like you were referring to, they're the ones that get the most inflated numbers. Let me just say this. We have 9 separate offices for women's health. We have 8 separate offices for minority health. We have 20 separate HIV programs. We have 59 separate behavioral programs. We have 40 separate opioid programs. We have 42 maternal health programs. Each one of them have their own administrators. We have 100 communications offices when I came in. We have 41 chief.
Say 100 communication offices?
Yes, 100, and we have 1,400 external affair officers, staff. We have 40 procurement departments using 4 different contracting systems. We have 9 resource officers, dozens of IT departments, and 8 senior finance officials. And what we're trying to do is eliminate the redundancy. There's no way to govern this agency. This agency has a budget that is comparable to the 6th largest nation in the world.
Wow.
And we have no governance because these are all in silos with their own infrastructure, and we're trying to consolidate them, and that's why they don't work. That's why we throw more and more money every year, and Americans are the sickest people in the world. We spend 2 to 3 times for healthcare what other nations spend, and we have the worst outcomes on earth. And if somebody does not reorganize this mess, it is going to continue. And we're trying to do it, and we're going to make some mistakes as we do it. But ultimately, I can tell you 4 years from now, the American people are going to be a lot healthier.
Only in American government do we think throwing money at the problem will eventually fix it. So thank you for staying strong and actually getting the taxpayers the money that they spent for something that's supposed to be spent for, and that's to make us healthier. So thank you for being strong in this.
Thank you.
Man, it's just incredible, folks, because, again, we didn't know how this was going to go when Trump was picking RFK Jr. or Marco Rubio for Secretary of State. I remember on the live stream saying, I'm not a fan of this one. But, boy, he's got my goat today. I want to tell you that. Now, let's go in. Who remembers Rep. LaMonica McIver? I'll just refresh you go over some time and show you the video where she's assaulting federal officers. Take a members. This is the woman who was charged.
Will not take this. We will fight back. Fight back. Fight back. And as I close out, because I know we've been out here for a long time, and goddamn it, shut down the city.
Shut down the city. She said the GD word, shut down the city.
We are at war.
She declared war on the country she lives in. Think about all this.
Anytime a person can pay $250 million into a campaign and they be given full access to the Department of Treasury of the United States of America, we are at war.
So she declared war. Same group, same protest, where these people said, guess what we're going to do? We're going to go out in the streets. We're going to fight. We're going to get violent. Hopefully you guys remember this not too long ago. Look at her shoving in. Oh, just elbowed that officer. Look at that. Boom. See that officer? It's a man right there. There's the hit. So we said we hope charges are coming. We don't know what'll happen. But from U.S. Attorney Haba, we got this. Today, my office has charged Congressman McIver with a violation of Title 18 United States Code Section 111A1 for assaulting, impeding, and interfering with law enforcement. It says, I take my obligation as U.S. Attorney seriously. I understand the responsibility that comes with my position, and I will work diligently to uphold the law and deliver justice to the people of New Jersey. After extensive consideration, we have agreed to dismiss Mayor Barkus' misdemeanor charge for trespass for sake of moving forward. In the spirit of public interest, I have invited the mayor to tour Delaney Hall. The government has nothing to hide at this facility, and it will and I will personally accompany the mayor so he can see it firsthand. The citizens of New Jersey unified leadership deserve unified leadership so we can get to work to keep our state safe. The dismissal against the mayor is not the end of this matter. Congressional oversight is an important constitutional function and one that I fully support. However, this is not at issue in this case. Representative LaMonica McIver assaulted, impeded, and interfered with law enforcement in violation of Title 18 United States Code Section 111A1. That conduct cannot be overlooked by the chief federal law enforcement officer in the state of New Jersey, and it is my constitutional obligation to ensure that our federal law enforcement is protected when executing their duties. I have persistently made efforts to address these issues without bringing criminal charges and have given Representative McIver every opportunity to come to a resolution, but she has unfortunately declined. No one is above the law, politicians or otherwise. It's the job of this office to uphold justice impartially, regardless of who you are. Now we will let the justice system work. This is Rep. LaMonica McIver's statement on the charges that were filed against her. Says Congresswoman LaMonica McIver released the following statement responding to charges brought against her. Earlier this month, I joined my colleagues to inspect a treatment of ICE detainees at Delaney Hall in my district. We were fulfilling our lawful oversight responsibilities as members of Congress have done many times before, and our visit should have been peaceful and short. Instead, ICE agents created an unnecessary and unsafe confrontation when they chose to arrest Mayor Baraka. These charges against me are purely political. They mischaracterize and distort my actions and are meant to criminalize and deter legislative oversight. This administration will never stop me from working for the people in our district and standing up for what is right. I am thankful for the outpouring of support I have received, and I look forward to the truth being laid out clearly in court. One thing she says there is the administration will never stop me from working for the people in our district. Those illegal aliens aren't from your district. They're not American citizens. Your district wants you to fix how broken that district is. That's what they're asking for. And you guys, once again, are doubling down, making a fool out of yourself. You can't make this stuff up, folks. I mean, they're doing everything they can. Listen to our tone here on CNN really quick. I just want you to listen to her tone.
Watson Coleman and Congressman Bob Menendez was just at a facility.
Would you have done anything differently?
No, I would not have. Once again, we showed up there to do a job, Kate. We were there for an oversight visit. We have done this before. You know, me, Congresswoman Bonnie Watson Coleman, and Congressman Bob Menendez was just at a facility just a couple of weeks ago, not too far from this location, where we had an oversight visit.
So what are they doing? Is that what Democrats are doing now? All the things that she could be doing. And she's going to make sure the illegal aliens that are in their country illegally. Is she worried about one American citizen? Just one, please.
And we were a little bit delayed, but not, confronted or was in the middle of a chaos to do so. I think, number one, we have an obligation to do so. We have to show up and do our jobs. And at the end of the day, the reason why we were there is because we wanted to make sure this facility was up to par, that it was clean, that it was safe, and that the detainees there were, given due process, that they were able to use the phone, that they were able to speak.
How many times has she worried about American citizens' due process? How many times has she went to the DC gulag? Did she ever go in the last 4 years when there was actually videotape leaked of the conditions they were living in? I don't think she did.
To their legal representation, which we found out was not happening, but that was our reason. So despite, what Republicans are saying, about us, trying to break people out of jail, that's untrue. We were not there to do that. We were there to conduct an oversight visit, which after all of this, the chaos, Kate, they gave us a tour. We were all of this, we broke in, we assaulted people, all of these things that, Haba is saying and Republicans are saying.
Congresswoman, you are now facing a federal charge, though. Are you afraid of what's going to transpire now?
I mean, it's super unfortunate, Kate, that we have come to this point, you know, in America, that this is what we see happening to leaders who are trying to do their jobs. Rather it's the mayor of the largest city, rather it's a judge. You know, we've seen this administration come after and attack, you know, leaders for doing their jobs. It's political intimidation, and I will not be intimidated.
I promise you, I will shed tears of joy if this woman gets locked up. Because this is what I'm saying. I've been to plenty of protests. I have been to plenty of riots. I've been to riots that I couldn't even record because if you pulled out your phone, you would get attacked. Just to get my own sight on what was really going on. I can promise you, if I would have ever shoved an officer, I would have been thrown to the ground. I would have been handcuffed and I would have been arrested right there on the spot. Now, this is the party that for the last 4 years, like on a broken record, said nobody's above the law. Through Trump's whole campaign, nobody's above the law. And again, Trump faced the biggest jury in the American people. And they sentenced him to 4 more years in the White House. You have this right here. She's not as loud. She's not saying this is war right now after she's been charged like she did earlier in the video we showed you. Now, who remembers this? This was Hakeem Jeffries before the charges were filed. Take a listen to this. Let me refresh that. We played this for you last week. Let's see.
Questions?
Mr. Leader, good afternoon. What would your statement the other day after there was this incident in Newark, you said they better not touch our members.
Correct.
What happens if they were to go and arrest these members or if they would try to sanction them here in the House of Representatives?
They'll find out.
What would you do though?
They'll find out.
Recourse? I mean, but doesn't that broach a...
They'll find out.
Doesn't that go across...
That's a red line.
What's the red line though? I mean, I know we have this...
It's a red line. It's very clear. First of all, I think that the so-called Homeland Security spokesperson is a joke. It's a joke. They know better than to go down that road, and it's been made loudly and abundantly clear to the Trump administration. We're not going to be intimidated by their tactics to try to force principled opposition from not standing up to their extremism. It hasn't happened during the entirety of this failed term. It didn't happen when Donald Trump temporarily was sitting high in the immediate aftermath of the election. Do you think it's going to happen now when he's the most unpopular president in American history after his first 100 days? Give me a break. No one's intimidated by this dude. No one. And so there are clear lines that they just dare not cross.
Tag, you're it. Tag, you're it. What are you going to do, Hakeem? What are you going to do, Dollar Store Obama? Just absolutely insane. Again, nobody's above the law unless you're a Democrat elected official or you're BLM or you're Antifa. Then you're above the law. Listen to this.
They might get
this is
pardoned.
funny. CNN talk about this.
Those videos, they'll see the whole thing, and it'll be clear to me, and it'll be clear to her in court.
I mean, the videos are pretty clear, are they not? I mean, she's shoving elbows, some punches. I mean, this is
a lot of
violent activity against law enforcement, is it not?
It's a lot of pushing and shoving. I don't know if
would a regular person, if they came and did that to a federal officer, get away with it?
A regular person,
like a regular, just a non-politician.
They might get pardoned.
If they showed up at a federal facility,
They might get pardoned by this
but were
president.
they charged? Were they charged? Were they convicted?
She says they might get pardoned. Listen to that. Again, this has nothing to do with January 6th. Those people were arrested, put through hell, lost their families, lost their homes, lost everything they'd worked for. Not even comparable.
Let me.
Yes.
Would a regular
you
person
brought up,
get away with it?
You brought up
occupancy. And if these members of Congress,
What does that have to do with a clear video of someone assaulting a police officer?
Scott? Was that wasn't
pretty
no,
clear.
there's nothing clear about it.
It's not a cheap fake, I can assure you of that.
Let me tell you something. If you took off your MAGA goggle glasses
It's
and
not a
looked
cheap
at
fake.
it,
The problem is they have a video of it. And it doesn't look great. And if the argument is, we're here to conduct legitimate oversight, is that what oversight looks like? Pushing and shoving and elbowing and causing a riot at a federal facility? Is that what oversight
you're
looks
saying
like?
is incorrect.
These officials gave Congresswoman McIver and the other two lawmakers a 1-hour tour of the facility. So to then go from that to pressing charges seems hard to sustain.
It was pretty reasonable for them to do that after the way they acted, was it not?
It certainly does seem very reasonable.
Can I ask the mayor a question? Actually,
Well,
were you invited? Were you invited? I think that the U.S. attorney also, when they dropped the charges, you were invited to come and tour the facility, right?
She did put that in the.
Are you going to do it?
Of course.
Good.
Of course.
So here's the point: you got a tour for the members. He's been offered a tour. There's all sorts of accommodations being made here to people who didn't act right in the moment.
Well,
I'm just saying.
No, they can't handle it. These newscasters cannot handle it. This is funny. I love when this was another statement issued by Rep. Dan Goldman. It says, my statement on Donald Trump's prosecution of Rep. LaMonica. Patriotic Americans must not be fooled. By charging a sitting member of Congress on completely bogus charges, the Trump administration is weaponizing the Department of Justice in an unprecedented way to silence and intimidate his political opposition. This is how banana republics and authoritarian dictatorships work, not the oldest democracy in the world. Now, Grant, this is kind of funny. I mean, he acts like the FBI is raiding Joe Biden's house right now, like we had happen to Mar-a-Lago and President Trump. It says, my Republican colleagues may be drunk on their own power and convinced of their own baseless accusations of the last administration's weaponization of the federal government, but their cowardice as President Trump lawlessly attacks their own institution will be a permanent stain on each and every one of them. I recommend that they stand up to this tyranny before it's too late and one of them becomes a defendant in a criminal prosecution. Oh, poor Dan. Poor Dan. I think we got another one here. Listen to this.
Jersey. She is the interim U.S.
Pick on MSNBC. Like, what is this thing, by the way? What is that?
Dear, we're getting some breaking news, and we want to ask you about it. But apparently, Alina Habba, who is, what's her job now? She's the acting. She's had a couple. New Jersey, yeah. She is the interim U.S. attorney for the District of New Jersey.
She's acting all right.
She's acting. Well, she has apparently now dismissed charges against Mayor Ras Baraka of Newark, so no longer being charged. He went to court last Thursday, but it is being reported that she has apparently filed charges against New Jersey Congresswoman LaMonica McIver. And I'm wondering your reaction to this news as we're trying to find more information. I don't believe the indictment has been unsealed yet, but our team, NBC News, is efforting to find out. But just your reaction to this.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm just learning the news as we all are now. It is chilling. The reason why they're doing this is to shut me and my Democratic colleagues up. They're doing it to make us afraid. It's not going to work. If anything, it will only strengthen our resolve. But make no mistake about it, this is not normal. It is not the sort of thing that happens in a healthy democracy. It is truly chilling. And I would urge all of my colleagues, both Democrats and Republicans, even those Republicans who say one thing in private about Trump, but then never want to say it in public, this should be a time when every member of Congress speaks out.
Oh, we went through a lot of actual weaponization of the government. Tired of this ish says, oh, you mean like what they did to Steve Bannon and Peter Navarro? They both did jail time over a bogus and fake J6 committee where they Democrats destroyed all those documents as well. I think if they're upset about this, I'm praying they're going to be upset about a whole lot of other things once the FBI and DOJ dig deeper in some of these investigations of all the corruption and everything that went on. This is Trump's statement when he was at the Capitol about the
Out of control. She was shoving federal agents. Oh, give me a break. Did you see her? She was out of control. Did you? Those days are over. The days of woke. The days of woke. No, I didn't. The days of woke are over. That woman, I have no idea who she is. That woman was out of control. She was shoving federal agents. She was out of control. The days of that crap are over in this country. We're going to have law and order. Oh, give me a break. Did you see her? She was out of control.
Oh, give me a break. Did you see her? She was out of control. And he says the days are over. It's going to be back to law and order. It's not going to be.
Those days are over. The days are.
They want to do whenever they want to do it. I just thought that was epic. That was epic because that gives him a nod. Now listen to the biggest weasel. I think one of the biggest weasels, you know, the ones that sleep with Chinese spies. He's literally threatening other ICE facilities. Listen to this.
In jail for an indefinite amount of time, we can't trust them. So we have to do our oversight duties. And she was in the right to go and do that. And I promise you, there's going to be more unnoticed visits by my colleagues where they show up and they better be let in.
Or else what? Or else what? That guy is just a snake and a slime ball, to say the least. An absolute snake and a slime ball. I mean, with everything that's gone on, I mean, we got the cancer cover up. We have the books coming out. We had the audio released of the Her tapes when Biden was given his deposition. We have so many things, and Democrats are just, they got to be overwhelmed. They got to be overwhelmed. It's not working anymore. It's not working. They control the media, and Americans aren't watching the media, the legacy media, if you will. And it's something else. But once again, guys, we are heading to D.C. in 3 weeks. We need your help. We are 100% viewer funded. If you guys want to help us get there, we're going to be live streaming the military parade down there and bringing you back some videos and everything else. And we can't do it without your support. If you want to help us, Venmo at Oreo Josh, Cash App, $Oreo Army, GiveSendGo.com/Oreo 2024. It's down there on the bottom of the screen. And then if you use Zelle mobile banking and you just want to do a transfer, we can do that too. You can go to our website, theoreoexpress.com. Scroll down our homepage, click on the Donate Now button, and all those links are there. I want to say thank you to everybody. Let's see here. Everybody that has donated today. I think it was just JH Candy Bar. Thank you so much. Let me make sure. Let me load this up and see if I got any other notices while we were live. Let it go. Let it go. No, it looks like that was it. So thank you guys. Again, we want to get the hotel booked by Friday. That way we're in an area that's not too far out. And I want to say thank you to you all for tuning in. We will see you in about 3.5 hours. Most likely, the earliest will be 3 o'clock Pacific, the latest 4 o'clock Pacific. We got to work on a whole nother show and get that all produced. And just want to say thank you once again for all you guys tuning in. We appreciate you. We can't do it without you. So stay tuned. We'll be back in a few hours. God bless.
I hear every day about the products you all wish MyPillow carried. Well, guess what? We probably do. Slippers, bathrobes, pet beds, blankets, mattresses, sleepwear, loungewear, duvets, comforters, pot holders, aprons, oven mitts, and so much more. And they're all on sale. For example, get our best-selling standard MyPillows for only $14.98. Body pillows, $29.98. 6-piece bath towels or kitchen towel sets, just $29.98. Multi-use MyPillow 2.0s with pillowcase, $9.98. Save $40 on our Spring Percale and Giza Dream bedsheet sets. Any size, any color, and so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save up to 80% on all MyPillow products. And I've never done this before. When you spend $100 or more, you're going to get 2 standard MyPillows absolutely free.
Well, hop aboard the Oreo Express, where truth don't hide and we don't second guess. Unapologetic, we're bold and we're loud, shining light on the left shady crowd. Oreo Express, rolling down the track, exposing the lies, ain't no turning back. Conservative fire, we're speaking the truth. At Oreo Express, this one's for you. So grab your boots, let's take a stand for freedom, faith, and the heart of this land. Oreo Express, let's roll, let's go. So grab your boots, let's take a stand for freedom, faith, and the heart of this land. Oreo Express, let's roll.